So tonight we just wanted to kick off the family gathering by spending a few minutes talking with you about the organization that was created by patients and parents and families, the IFOPA. It is truly your IFOPA, and as staff, we have the pleasure of helping execute and carry out the work that's done by the organization. But we wanted to talk with you a little bit tonight about some of the programs and services. In the middle of your table, you will have a folder. If you are a family that speaks Spanish, this was given to you at registration. And in your folder, you will find some additional resources where you can read more about the things that we're going to highlight tonight. But we did want you to know you can take this folder with you. If you have questions, there are tables outside in the exhibit area from all of the different departments at the IFOPA, so we're glad to sit and have a chat with you. You'll find our contact information, so we can talk later as well. But we wanted to give you a taste of a few things that are happening at the IFOPA, so we have more conversations over the next couple of days. So, as you might have heard earlier this year, I hope you saw our posts on social media, the IFOPA is celebrating its 35th year in 2023. This is our founder, Jeannie Pieper. Many of you know her, have had the pleasure of meeting Jeannie. She founded the IFOPA along with 10 other founding members. One of them was Sharon Newman's sister, Nancy Sando, and they are the ones who started this incredible organization. We've done a lot of things this last year to celebrate the 35th anniversary. I hope you saw our campaign in June and July. There's been so many activities that have happened over the 35 years that it took us 6 weeks to feature all of them. But there's some great programs and services that still continue today, and we're continuing to innovate and do new things. Today was the first siblings meeting. So we're super excited to look back and honor things that have been happening over the 35 years and to continue to do those, but also to be bringing new programs and services to the table. So the IFOPA is run by a volunteer board of directors, and the board members that run the organization, that govern the organization, are made up of patients and parents and other family members and friends and people that also bring subject matter expertise to help us run the nonprofit organization that you know as the IFOPA. You are going to see this weekend that there are several board members that are here. I think Megan Olson is in the back of the room on this side. She's back here, our board chair. And then Nadine Grossman is here. Let's see, where did Nadine go? She's over here. So Nadine is here. And then tomorrow, Gary McGuire, who's our treasurer, will be here with his daughter, Natalie. So if you have a question about the IFOPA, definitely stop and ask one of them over the next couple of days, as well as you can ask staff as well. So this is part of our series celebrating the IFOPA. In 1998, the IFOPA hired its very first 2 staff members, and now we are a team of 8 people that work in research and family services and fundraising awareness, and also run the operations of the organization. So you're going to meet us tonight, but we're going to take just a quick minute to introduce everyone. So we're going to start over here. So I'm going to have you guys stand up. So Jamie Roach is our operations director. And then Shay Payson is our program specialist. She gets the pleasure of having her hands in a little bit of all of the programs that you see here. So they're going to be here this week too, and so we hope that you'll stop and chat with them and learn more about the work that they're doing, and they love the chance to get to interact with you all as well. So also up with me on the stage, you're going to hear from Danielle Kirkovic, our research director, who's a PhD scientist. And then we also have Sammy Kyle, who is our real-world evidence manager, but you probably know her best as the registry manager. And then Hope Newport, of course, our family services manager. Karen Kirchhoff, who runs our Ability Toolbox and Life Awards programs. She's our family services coordinator. And then Catherine Royce, who is our fundraising and special projects manager. So we're going to give you a taste of some of the programs and services that you help fund through your donations and through your fundraising. And we're also going to talk about opportunities for you to get more involved. So we're going to start with Danielle.
Hi. It's great to be here. I've been with the IFOPA going on 3 years now, but it's my very first family gathering. So I'm really excited to be here. And I get to talk about lots of fun stuff. So IFOPA, right in our mission statement is to fund research to find a cure. And that's exactly where we're going. This scheme may look familiar to you. We have discovery on the left, where we discover as much as we can about the disease FOP. Preclinical research, where we look at cells and mouse models and other models to try and understand what's happening in the disease and to identify specific drug targets. And then this space where we are right now, thankful to so many of our pharmaceutical sponsors, in phase 1, 2, and 3 research, phase 1, 2, and 3 clinical trials, where we see, okay, we put our discoveries, we put our theories, we put our rational drug design, and we combine it all together. We say, is it safe and effective medicines? And right now, as never before, we have a number of drugs in this phase. And then we have FDA review, and that's where they determine FDA or EMA. FDA is marked here for the United States. That's where we determine whether or not a drug is safe and effective enough to be marketed, to be sold, and to be shared with others around the world. So for IFOPA, we've got our hands in all of these pots. We are funding programs that support all of these levels. Because if you look at this, it's not just a straight line from discovery to drug to access. It's a really iterative process. Everything we learn at one level, we go back and it informs another part of the process. And so one of the biggest things that we do in IFOPA to support the continuum of research and development is to gather tools necessary to do the good work, to identify those drug targets, to test them in preclinical models in order to determine if they're ready to be tested in humans, safe enough, effective enough. And so today we have the biobank, and many of you may have donated or choose to donate this during your time here. And these biological samples are critical for telling us researchers what on earth is going on in FOP and how do we stop it. FOP-specific cell lines, this year we are building a stem cell bank of FOP cells, so that when we look at that stem cell, we can turn that cell using manipulations in the laboratory into muscle cells, into bone cells, so we can directly investigate FOP patient cells without having to do any kind of biopsy or, bad stuff. And so we have our mouse and our other models. We have fish models. We have fruit fly models. And we have, we'll hear from Sammy next, and she's going to talk about patient registry data and FOP prompt. And so one of the biggest things that we do in order to facilitate research and ultimately facilitate a cure is to get those tools and data sets, make the best we can, and provide those worldwide. We're asking many specific research questions right now. We're asking, can we use gene therapy to stop FOP where it starts, at the gene defect? That's an active program for us. Can we silence bone-making signals in FOP with RNA? RNA, you may recall, is RNA therapeutics are the therapeutics that were used for COVID vaccines. What are the best drug targets for treating FOP-specific pain? We haven't really investigated FOP-specific pain before, so we're doing that now. Why do flares start, and how do we stop them? When we stop FOP, how do we remove the extra bone? We're not just thinking about today, but we're planning for tomorrow. And when we stop FOP, how do we regenerate muscle to restore function? So we're thinking about today, we're thinking about tomorrow to restore function. And ultimately, how do we recover from FOP? So when I look at this pipeline on the far left, sometimes I get a little disappointed because so much work goes into just discovery and preclinical research to get to that FDA-approved medicine. But on the other hand, sometimes I think about it and say, well, we only need one cure. So hopefully I've shared some information with you, and if you need anything, just reach out to me and all of my colleagues here at IFOPA. We work for you. Next up, we have my colleague, Sammy Kyle.
So I'm going to jump in and say one thing before we pass it to Sammy. So thanks for that great overview of our research work. I think the big thing we want you to know is that we have this incredible opportunity while you're here at the family gathering to participate in the biobank. You can always participate and give samples to the biobank from your home. We have kits that can be mailed to you, and we let you mail them back free of charge, so it costs you nothing to do the biobank from home. But while you're here in Dallas, you have an incredible opportunity to participate in the biobank. So at the end, so you should have received a flyer about the biobank when you registered. If you are a Spanish-speaking family, it was in your folder. As you leave tonight, there will be people outside with iPads. We can meet with you and just set up an appointment, so you can pick a time that works for you. We are taking blood, urine, and saliva. You can donate one or you can donate all three of those. And we are especially looking for children who do not have FOP, so we need that as a control group, and we are looking for adults with FOP. We may be able to take other people as well, but those are the two primary groups we're looking for. If you are at home and you live in the United States, if you're at the virtual meeting and you want to participate, you go to ifopa.org/biobank, and that's where you can find the materials to participate. So we hope that you'll all take advantage of this incredible opportunity to contribute to research. Okay.
All right, that's a tough act to follow. Thank you. All right, Sammy Kyle here. I am the Real World Evidence Manager, and I will be going over the registry here. So the FOP registry is really easy to participate in. This is our homepage here. You simply go to fopregistry.org, and here you can create your account, fill out your enrollment survey, your follow-up surveys, and you can also translate all the content of the FOP registry here as well. So what exactly does the FOP registry do? So by participating in the registry and collecting all of your information, the information collected helps clinicians and researchers understand FOP better, and helps patients, caregivers, and physicians better manage care of those with FOP, and it helps to accelerate the development and availability of disease-modifying treatments and possibly a cure. And we share our learnings from the FOP registry in a lot of different ways, but one of the ways that we share it every year is through the FOP registry annual report. And so this is just a snippet of the 2020 annual report where we focused on the road to diagnosis. And here is a snippet of the one that we produced last year for the 22 annual report. And this is important because as an FOP patient, you might see or you might think that you're having stomach cramps and stomach pains, and you wonder if it's a symptom of FOP. And you can go to this report and you can see that about 66% of FOP patients have also reported having this symptom. And the value of the registry is really strengthened by the community. This is an international effort. We have expanded our global footprint by making the registry available in 9 different languages. And we also have a medical portal where your FOP physician can also contribute data that they collect from you at your standard of care visits into the registry once you agree to it. So how do you participate? Participating in the registry is really easy. Like I said, you go to fopregistry.org to create your account. We also have an iOS and an Android app as well. To fill out your enrollment survey, you do need to have about 30 minutes to 1 hour, and every 6 months you get a reminder to complete your follow-up survey. And this is just a high-level overview of what we collect at each of those time points. So at enrollment, because it does take a little bit longer, we do collect that informed consent and your demographics and diagnosis. And at each survey, we also collect your medical care, your FOP signs and symptoms, your quality of life questionnaires, aids and devices, and any adaptations you've needed to make since your last survey. And what do you get out of participating in the registry? So you do get a $25 gift card for every survey that you complete. And by contributing your information and sharing your story, you get to know that you're helping advance research in clinical trials, and you also get to see your impact through these data reports, such as the annual report. And like I said, we just need everybody to participate and share their story. Every story is unique, even if you're not having any symptoms or anything has happened since your last survey. Even knowing that is impactful. And it's just a great way to contribute to research, even if you're not participating in a clinical trial. Anybody of any age can participate. And if you want to come and reach out to myself and Michelle, we're happy to talk to you about your research, your registry status.
So thank you so much, Sammy. So we started the registry in 2015, and that means for some people that joined in 2015, they have given us 8 years of data about their FOP experience, which is incredible. It is incredible to have one registry that covers the entire world and to be getting this much data that follows people every 6 months through their story. And I think the most important thing is just to know that it doesn't matter if you're brand new diagnosed and you have a 1-year-old child, or if you've been living with FOP for 20 years. We want all of those stories because we need all of the different experiences people have with FOP. So I know sometimes it's hard to think like, well, am I enrolled? Did I get that follow-up survey? So what Sammy and I have done is we have a sheet for each of the patients that are here that are registered. And it will tell you, hey, you're enrolled, your next follow-up survey is coming up on December 6th. Or, hey, you started your enrollment survey, but you didn't finish it, so here's how you finish it. Or, you haven't signed up for the registry yet, but we hope you'll fill out your enrollment survey so we can send you a $25 gift card. So please stop at the FOP registry desk and have a chat with Sammy. If she's not there, I'm glad to have a chat with you too, and we'll walk you through what you need to do to participate, because for participating, you get at least 50, you'll get at least $50 US a year. And the other thing is that there are times that special surveys come up that are run through the registry that you might get an additional reward for doing those, but you've got to be in the registry to be able to take advantage of those opportunities. So we hope that you will come see us. Okay. Oh, I think I have to go one more time. Oh, I just need to put here. So we are going to talk for a second about clinical trials. I think Danielle gave a little hint at how incredibly fortunate we are as a community to have so many active recruiting clinical trials happening. So when we go to meetings like the National Organization of Rare Disorders or the Global Genes Rare Patient Summit, we are with lots of patient organizations, and a lot of those organizations are just trying to find out, like, are there other patients with the disease? What gene is causing our disease? What gene mutation is causing our disease? But as a community in FOP, we are so blessed. The gene was found in 2006, and in 17 short years, we are living in a world where there are 4 active and recruiting clinical trials, which is incredible. And it's really due to the fact that you all have come together as a community. The organization that Jeannie and Nancy founded has come together across the globe, and that there's so many dedicated researchers and clinicians that are working in this space, and pharmaceutical companies that are really dedicated to finding treatments and one day a cure for this disease. So in the morning, Dr. Richard Keene, who's here from the United Kingdom, is going to share with us about the clinical trials, and you'll have an opportunity to ask some questions. So we'll talk more about that in the morning, but one of the things we want you to know is that the IFOPA has developed resources to help you navigate all of these trials that are out there for you. So the first thing that you should do is you should sign up for clinical trial alerts. You get lots of emails. We have a special email so that when there's an announcement, hey, maybe the age is dropped in a clinical trial, or maybe they've opened up a trial in a new country or a new site in the United States, that you should watch for these special emails so it kind of clears out the clutter. So make sure you're signed up for clinical trial alerts. The other thing is that we have a dedicated section of the website, and this is how you access it, at ifopa.org/about-clinical-trials. And that is where you can come and find all kinds of resources. There's a glossary, so if you see a clinical trial announcement or you're on clinicaltrials.gov and you don't understand a word, you can come to the glossary and find it. We have frequently asked questions. There's a question on here like, How do I decide, how do I choose between clinical trials? There's a great resource there to help you make those decisions. We also have a trial locations map. There are lots of trial locations all over the world. So this is especially important for our friends who are joining us virtually. You can come to the map and you can find the trial locations because some cities and some countries actually have multiple clinical trials running in them. So these resources are available for you. I have a table right next to Sammy's table with more information about clinical trials. We actually have printouts of some of the publications about the clinical trials and studies. So I hope that you'll stop by and we'll have a chat.
Sammy. Hello, everyone, and I feel like I have to start since the Family Gathering is the biggest family services program of the year. I have to start by saying thank you to all of you who made the effort to be here in person, to all of our virtual attendees for logging in tonight or tomorrow when we see you in our sessions. What I'm going to do now is just tell you a little bit about the foundation that guides our program. So in the folders you have more details, but I wanted to give you sort of a high-level overview of what drives our development of these programs. So education, support, and connection are the three big factors that we are striving to provide for our community. And that education is about navigating both the physical aspects of life with FOP as well as the emotional ones. That education flows into support. A lot of these are overlapping, but that support comes through both one-to-one interactions with myself or our staff and families, and in one-to-one interactions we're able to help facilitate or create between families themselves. And it also comes from groups when we're able to bring our incredible community together to learn and support one another. And then connection. So I always tell people that, my job here at the IFOPA is to harness and bridge the experience and the resources that you all find in your everyday life so that more people can access those. So I'm going to talk you through just a few examples, and I think I might have been itching into the Christmas mode when I was making this because the gingerbread man just really spoke to me. But our education, as I said, it's really about providing resources for the whole person. So we don't just want to look at the physical, we want to focus on emotional as well. And so, starting from the top down, we have resources focused on sexuality, pain management, explaining FOP to children. So how can we help the kiddos, whether it's the child with FOP, their sibling, their peers, understand what FOP is and how it impacts their relationships with others. Moving down, oral health and dentistry, and then lung and respiratory health. And just one concrete example of these, we have webinars, but we also have handouts like the one you all received when you got your gift bag from registration with your spirometer and your pulse oximeter. You also should have received this handout with information about FOP lung health. So we strive to make these resources as digestible as possible. We know you get a lot of more technical information sometimes from your doctors or research you do, but we want our resources to really be geared towards something that you can easily integrate into your life. So those resources also include nutrition, feminine health issues, skincare, and this is something that Karen and I, we have big dreams for this. We'd like to have lots of different aspects of physical and emotional health included in this list in the future. But that support, as I said, that education is just one component. We also try to create supportive moments in that educational programming as well. So we know that our families go through a lot of challenges, and in each of these challenges, they experience sort of a new normal. And so how can we help families reach that new normal as quickly and with as little impact as possible? So when just starting with diagnosis, a family is first diagnosed, or maybe they have been given FOP as a diagnosis, but it hasn't been confirmed yet, we're able to meet with them to welcome them to the community or to connect them with an FOP expert who can help them confirm that diagnosis so they know they're on the right path. In addition to doing that direct one-to-one support, we love to connect them with the IFOPA as an organization through our e-newsletters, with you all in the community through our online Facebook support groups, and then for all of our virtual attendees logging in, we love for them to meet the families in their country who also have FOP or have come together as a community abroad. And then lastly, I think think it's really important, and I'm going to talk about the sibling group in a minute, but to create space for these families to meet together. So online we have a peer support group for adults with FOP. That's a monthly support group. And then a member of the community, several members of the community have been working together to lead a monthly bereaved family member support group. So we work with the community to help spread word about those programs, to provide any technical support they need, but also with experts like Al, Dr. Friedman, who was here at dinner with us tonight. I don't know if he's still here, but to bring them in, hi Al, so that they can help facilitate programs for our community as well. And lastly, I'm just going to talk about connection. And I'm starting here at the top. You see we held a workshop earlier today for adult siblings of individuals with FOP. And it was such a wonderful reminder of the power of connection, of how impactful it can be when we all come together in a space, whether it's a ballroom in person like this or online virtually, just to learn from one another, to support one another, but to end that isolation that I think a lot of our families feel on a daily basis. So that sibling workshop was a really powerful reminder of that happened earlier today, and we look forward to being able to do more programming for those siblings in the future. But the family gathering small group discussion sessions, that'll happen tomorrow, both virtually and here in person, that are just for different personas. So adult men, adult women, having that designated time for you all to be together and talk about what's important to you. We also offer community panels where we bring members of the community together. We put them in the spotlight and help them share their experiences with others in a variety of topics. The advocacy series is one example where we do a lot of those community panels, and you can see the topics we've covered in that series in your packet. And then lastly but not least, even if it's not a community panel, even if it's just a Zoom meeting where we're bringing people together and creating an open forum, we think it's really important to provide that connection and work it into our educational programming. So in addition to the advocacy series, we also have our Resilient Living series, and this year we focused on pain management. And at the end of those pain management sessions, after we'd heard from FOP, or not FOP experts, subject matter experts, we took time to just hear from the participants about what has helped them in managing their pain and what different resources have they used, because those conversations, as informal as they can be sometimes, are really helpful in the knowledge sharing.
Okay, so when Jeannie started the IFOPA back in 1988, she really started it because she wanted to end the isolation that she felt as someone living with FOP. And so when they started it, it was really about what Hope was talking about family services, about connecting and educating one another and developing resources. And then the next year, a father started a fundraiser, and that's really what drove the research work of the IFOPA, are all of these families that began fundraising. And so a lot of the resources of the IFOPA were really poured into research. And today that is still the case, that about 70-75% of our annual budget is poured into research, both the research work that Danielle works on, but also the research work that Sammy is a part of. But what has been so critical to us, especially since Hope joined the IFOPA in 2018, is just growing and growing and growing the family services. I mean, the things that are happening on a daily basis. We are, welcoming new families in the United States, but, every few days we're welcoming or taking questions from families around the world that are contacting us on social media or by email. Some of them are going to be on with us during the virtual meeting this week. So, our vision is a cure for FOP, and you hear it in our mission that it's treatments and a cure, but also not just supporting and educating families, but supporting and educating the entire family is really our mission, and that's really the work that Hope has really built, and so we're just thrilled to be able to do that. But we have really cool stuff happening too, because if you see Karen's fancy table out here, you're gonna love it. So you wanna talk about Ability Toolbox?
Yeah, so the other two programs that do fall under family services that I help manage, one is the Ability Toolbox program, and one is the Quality of Life Awards, the Harold and Elaine Kaplan Quality of Life Awards. So I'm going to talk a little bit about those to make sure that you all understand them and know what kinds of services are provided through those, because we'd love to make sure you participate. So the Ability Toolbox program, the main purpose of this program is focusing on mobility and trying to promote independence even despite some mobility loss. And how do you do that? You do that through tools. Tools meaning adaptive equipment. We use the word tools for that. And also home modifications, and even just how you organize your home and your daily routines, just simple tips and strategies. So how can you maintain as much independence as possible? That's what the entire program focuses on. We offer the support through that program either one-on-one, like Hope mentioned. We can do Zoom calls for those of you that are international and can't come to meetings in person. Please come find me today at the table that's going to be right here outside the dining area, but I also have a table of tools upstairs in the waiting room before your dentist and doctor appointments. So make sure to take advantage of looking through all of those and asking what some of them are. We have homemade tools and purchase tools. So I would love to be able to provide support for you this weekend and into the weeks and months after that if we want to follow up and see what we can provide as far as help. Also, we encourage families. One of the things I love doing, especially because I was a pediatric physical therapist, is I love encouraging families to introduce tools early. And if you're looking for ways to start thinking about adaptive equipment and using adaptive equipment, but you don't know how to introduce it with your kiddos, I have lots of fun ideas, and your kids that are attending the Fun Zone are going to do a really fun activity with some adaptive equipment on Saturday morning. So reach out to me. Even if you don't think you need any tools right now, it's important to learn about it and learn what's out there so that you're prepared if something does happen with your FOP. And then lastly, the biggest part of this program that does involve you all and can only grow and be enriched by you all is the online guidebook that we have started. It's a database where I really want to capture all the amazing tools that you all are using, whether you purchase them or make them yourself, or tips that you have and strategies that you have. So many of you are on the Support for FOP Facebook group that we have, and you ask questions of each other, and then the rest of you answer for each other, and then we don't want all that great information to be lost. So there's a database, and all I ask is that you, if you have an idea or a tool or something you want to share, reach out to me, because I want to make sure we get it in here so this database can grow, so that the new families that come into your community have somewhere to go and get answers, and all of that great information from some of our older FOP community members are not lost. So I will have an iPad at the tool table downstairs here and upstairs in the waiting room, so you can see that guidebook if you haven't taken a look at it yet. And this is just kind of a little bit of a snapshot of what's in it, but it is organized by category of activity of daily living. So like dressing, eating, bathing, toileting. So it's fairly easy to understand the organization. And when you click on one of those categories, you can see all the different types of tools and tips that people are using that have to do with that specific activity. Where you see the little red circle up there, that's just where the Google Translate button is. So if English is not your first language, you can translate all of this into any language so that you can still read and understand and benefit from what those of us who are English speaking have contributed. And then tools can be expensive, right? I'm sure if any of you have even tried to buy any of them, you know that it's very expensive, and a lot of times you buy it and it doesn't even work for what you needed it to work for. So Dr. Fred Kaplan was very generous and donated a large sum of money that he won in a medical award back in 2018. And so this award was established in his name, the Quality of Life Awards. This program has been around for a very long time, but it was renamed when he made his generous donation. And this program is an $1,800 US dollar scholarship that anyone with FOP has access to. And it can be used for this very stuff that we're talking about: tools, equipment, anything that helps you live a little bit better quality of a life with your FOP. Whether that is equipment like dressing sticks, or whether it's a little bit of financial help with your wheelchair, or tools that you can use with your wheelchair, cushioning, anything. But it can also be For some of our international members, sometimes they have no way to connect with you all, and they want to attend this stuff, and they don't have the technology. So a laptop or a cell phone, things that can help you keep up with the latest research that is going on in FOP. So there's lots of different items that you can use this award for. You can use it all at once, or you can use it a little bit at a time. We keep track of the balance that each of you has. The window for applications, all you have to do is apply online. There's a short form to fill out, and we do that every January and every July. So coming up is the next opening for applications. If any of you have a need, feel free to reach out to me. I can help you with the application. If English isn't your first language, it is also translatable with the Google button online. But I'm happy to help you prepare your application and find that piece of equipment that's going to work best for you well in advance of that application window. So please feel free to reach out to me if you need that. And one caveat to this is that you do need to be in our patient directory, which is a little bit different than Sammy's registry, which her registry is all about your symptoms and what's going on with your FOP. Our directory is just letting us know your name, phone number, address, so that when you request an item, we have all that information already, and we can ship the item to you once we purchase it. So make sure to go online and look up our patient directory. Make sure you're in there so that when you decide to use the Quality of Life Award, that's one less thing that you have to do in the application process.
So you will find on our website, if you go to ifopa.org, and there is a menu for patients and families, just click on that, and that's where you will find the Life Award application. It is an important program that was started many years ago, and Dr. Kaplan has helped us be able to continue this important work. But we do hope that it is something that you will look at and take advantage of. And the tool program, the way that's continued to evolve and grow is incredible, but it's because of you. It's because of you sharing what's working for you and what's helping you. And so we just encourage you to come, stop, try some tools, learn how to use some new things, and then but to also come back to us and share your experiences so we can continue to grow and build the Ability Toolbox program for everyone.
And one thing I did forgot to say, Hope mentioned it, but I want to make sure you heard her and understood it, that when you registered, you got a little gift bag, which was kind of related to Ability Toolbox. You got your spirometer and your pulse oximeter. There were supposed to be 2 sheets in there. Oh, you got everybody's theirs? Okay, never mind. I thought that we missed a few people that didn't get their sheets, and I wanted to make sure you got them. But also, we do have a workshop that we're doing on Saturday that I want to make sure you attend, where you're going to be able to make your own homemade tools. We have 2 of them for you, so don't forget to come to that as well.
Okay, hello everyone, and I'm here to talk about everybody's favorite subject, fundraising. Woo! Okay, so obviously a joke. It's not everybody's favorite topic, but all of this amazing work that you've heard everyone talk about, and I work with amazing colleagues, and the caliber and quality of programs and research that we fund is just off the charts. It's amazing. But do you know why it's available? Because somebody asked for money to fund the IFOPA. It cannot be done without fundraising. It doesn't exist. I mean, we're a nonprofit. That's true for all nonprofits. But the money that comes into the IFOPA only comes because somebody asked for that money, either one of us on staff or one of you, a family member, someone living with FOP, asking their family and friends and their network. So it is important, even though it's not anybody's favorite topic. I'm the resident weirdo who loves asking people for money. I don't know why, but I'm here to help you if you have any interest in partnering with us. And so I just want to run through a few things. First of all, one of the most exciting things I'd like to share with you is, like I mentioned, every nonprofit has to ask for money, but we really set an industry standard. We are way above the nonprofit sector standard, with 85 cents of every fundraised dollar going directly to programs and services. I cannot tell you how crazy high that number is. You know, you may have heard of, I'm not going to name them by names, but you may have heard in the news about some nonprofits who get in trouble because like 1 cent to every dollar actually goes to programs and services because the overhead is so high. The IFOPA runs a lean, mean machine, and I'm very, very proud of that, and we all are. We raise the funds through a variety of ways. You can see all of the ways on the screen, and we're going to touch on all of these in just a moment. But basically, IFOPA-led fundraising, which we do with 3 different campaigns every year. Our monthly donor program, Focus on Possibilities, our vehicle donation program, Cars to Cure FOP, planned giving, also incredible sponsorship and project fees from our pharmaceutical partners, visionary partners tonight, Regeneron, and not just tonight, for the whole family gathering, Regeneron, and also Ipsen. You watch the video from Ipsen. You'll hear from Amanda Seifcharny tomorrow with Regeneron. Just incredible partners, and also from your help, which is Team Cure FOP, which we'll talk about more in a moment. So our 3 campaigns every year are Awareness Day. That's the first one. That's in April, and that's in honor of the anniversary of the gene discovery, the FOP gene discovery, and Global FOP Awareness Day, as everybody probably knows, is April 23rd. And so every April we partner with FOP organizations, national organizations around the globe, and you can see, and there are even more now. I mean, it's just, I got 2 messages today. We had 2 new countries or national organizations that let me know that they were partnering with us, and that was Kenya and Switzerland. So those flags made it. But then today, when we were already here, I heard from 2 others. So FOP India and Malaysia are also joining us this coming year. So it's just growing every year. But we fundraise during April to make sure that we are continuing to reduce the amount of time it takes to get to a proper diagnosis, and also just to raise awareness. And we're just so thrilled to have partners around the world who do Unite in Hope. And this is this coming year's logo, so you'll see a lot more of that. Since 2020, we have joined In Pursuit of a Cure to share the latest in FOP research developments, and also just to raise funds to maintain progress. It's an incredibly important campaign. We've had our first a drug approved in the United States just a couple of months ago. That same drug was approved in Canada and the UAE less than 2 years ago, but there's only one. It's not available everywhere. It's not available for children. And so it's really critical that we keep pushing forward. Most FOP, if not all FOP experts, believe it will take a cocktail of drugs, that not just one will help to treat and reduce the effects and ultimately eliminate the effects of FOP. So we have to keep moving forward, and we do that through In Pursuit of a Cure every summer. It has done really big things. We fund gene therapy research at UMass, University of Massachusetts. We fund Act for FOP research grants, and in 2022, we also funded the principal investigator of the Stop FOP clinical trial, which is happening in several countries in Europe. And we're coming up on this right now with our year-end giving campaign, and this is the time that we take to celebrate everything that's happened in the previous months and to raise critical funds for the months ahead. We always focus on family services, programs, and services. And we feature different families and individuals living with FOP, and you can see the ones we're featuring this year: the Klaus Slack family, who lives in Florida; Laurent, who lives in France; Danny, is Danny here tonight? She's not here, okay. Danny from Mexico, and Kyle, who lives in Iowa. There are also these several other programs I mentioned before, but Focus on Possibilities is our monthly donor program, and we have monthly donors who give $1 a month. We have them who give all the way up to $250 or $300 a month. The amount that's given is not what's important. What's important is that you give something on a regular basis if you're able, and to have that number continue to grow, because these are funds we can count on every single month. And so that's Focus on Possibilities is our monthly donor program. We also have a vehicle donation program called Cars to Cure FOP. You can, we'll take your car, your truck, your plane, your boat, your ATV, your camper. If it has an engine, even if the engine doesn't work, we'll take it. We'll even take the trailer that it sits on. We don't care. We have a company that will come and pick it up at no charge to you. It's super, super easy. One phone call or one visit to a website. And then we also have partnered this year with a company called Free Will. And Free Will is just that. If you don't have a will and you want one, You can go to the free will platform and get a will for free. You can also, if you have a will already, you can access the portal to download whatever documents you need to update your will and take them to your attorney. And if you'd like to, you can leave a gift to the IFOPA to continue your legacy of supporting the mission of the IFOPA, even when you're gone. If you were to leave, these are called legacy gifts, by the way, and if you were to leave a legacy gift, like a gift in your will or a life insurance policy, that makes you a member of the Jeannie Pieper Heritage Roll of Honor. And you can see some, I don't know if they all show on here, but you can see some of our members of the Roll of Honor here. We have 2 brand new members. Are there Hernandezes here right now? Are they here tonight? Joe and Savannah?
They are.
Hi, thank you so much. I just noticed today, I just got word that you signed up for that, so thank you very much. And now we're moving to Team Cure FOP. Any type of fundraising activity or awareness activity you do for the IFOPA makes you a member of Team Cure FOP, because that's what we're all trying to do. And this is just a quick list of different events that happen. These are fundraising events that happen just in 2023. There are many, many, many other events, but these are some that happened just in 2023. One thing that's not listed on here is any type of Facebook fundraising, which we have so many, like Bear and Travis usually donate their birthdays for on Facebook for the IFOPA. The Rodriguez's, I have these 4 huge bright lights shining right at me. I really can't see anything, but Jacqueline and Joe, who I just got to meet today, they just donated their, I think, anniversary, right, to the IFOPA. But Megan Olson is here, and Tiffany Williams. I'm not sure if Tiffany's here. There's over there. Yay, hi, Tiffany. But the McGuires will be here tomorrow. And I mean, the list goes on and on with the number of people. The Porters, I don't know if the Porters are here tonight, but if I took the time to recognize every single person in the audience who has fundraised and is a member of Team Cure FOP, we'd be here a lot longer than you probably want to be. But we are so grateful for everyone who has helped us. And these are just some pictures of some different fundraising events this year. And one of the easiest ways to fundraise is by having a personal fundraising page. I usually hear people tell me, oh, I don't like asking people for money. And other than strange people like me, most people don't like asking people for money. But we do make it as easy as possible. First of all, you have access to me. I will help you every step of the way. But even something just creating a personal fundraising page, all you have to do is send out the link to your family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, anyone in your network, or ask your family and friends to also send it to theirs. It's like a pebble in a pond, right? The more people you ask, the more it grows. But these are samples of some of our fundraising pages. And I do want to recognize these 3 people. Megan Olson is right there. And Suzanne Hollywood, where are you, my friend?
Back over here.
Back there. And Tiffany Williams is over here. These are their pages. And they are also members of the IFOPA's fundraising committee, so they work with me on a regular basis, along with a few other members, to make the most that we can in terms of fundraising for this incredible organization. And all 3 of them will be with me on Saturday afternoon in the Meet and Greet FOP Community Fundraisers little station. And every question you've ever had about fundraising, you can get answered by one of us. So please come see us. Suzanne will tell you, we'll have cookies or something, but just come see us, and we're happy to answer any questions you have. And we also have a fundraising quiz and all kinds of fun things we can give you to make it a lot more fun. And we're making it even easier. This is a brand new way to help you fundraise and raise awareness about FOP. So on the left, these are 2 sets of awareness cards. And on the left are the general cards. And I actually have a supply of them at the awareness table right outside these doors. And I can give 1 package per family if you want to come get one. And it's something you can easily share with anybody. You just give a card and it explains what FOP is and what the IFOPA is. And on the back, on the bottom, there's a QR code. And that goes straight to the IFOPA's general donation page, so people can see this, they can make a gift. It's really easy. You're not really even asking people for anything. You're just giving them a card, right? On the right-hand side, though, this is the Williams family custom card. If you set up one of those personal fundraising pages that I mentioned, we'll create a custom card for you, and we'll use your picture or your loved one's picture, your family's picture, as well as a QR code that goes directly to your personal fundraising page. So it's a really cool and simple way for you to help fundraise and be a member of Team Cure FOP. So all we ask is that you join us, right? It takes a village, they say, and it certainly does, with trying to not only cure FOP one day, but make life better for everyone living with FOP right now. So please join us.
So you can see how passionate Catherine is about fundraising, and I promise you she makes it as easy as she is passionate about it. So she's a great resource. There's lots of great tools that we've developed. I do want to talk about one new thing. So if you'll hit the button, we're going to talk about, we kind of touched on it for just a minute about awareness and ways that you can, generate awareness, whether it's, I think Cordy's family took some cards to share at her school. So you might be, through those cards, generating a lot of general awareness. But we do want you to know that the IFOPA is working to raise awareness among healthcare professionals, especially focused on the pediatric community. These are the physicians and the nurses and the nurse practitioners and physician's assistants that see children when they're born, and they see them often, and oftentimes they're stripped down to their diaper, and so they have a great opportunity to see all parts of their body, to see their toes, to see if there's any lumps and bumps. And so we're partnering with these organizations that you see here that provide continuing medical education. So many of our pharmaceutical partners are also helping fund these programs at continuing medical education companies, so that we have these great, incredible programs where they can go online, physicians, nurses, et cetera, they can go online, they can watch a video that many of our FOP experts participate in. You'll see Dr. Pignolo here as one of the faculty, and they tell the story of FOP. How do you diagnose it? What shouldn't you do? What's happening with the clinical trials? What are the emerging treatments? So they're this great resource, and these doctors and nurses and healthcare professionals, they have to have continuing medical education to keep their licenses. So these are great opportunities to learn. So how can you be involved in that? We put this information on our social media sites and in our newsletters. So what we're asking for you to do is when you see that in our communications, that you pass it along to your local physician. They need continuing medical education credits too. And sometimes, especially in pediatricians' offices, you might have your pediatrician you see, but maybe there's an after-hours emergency and you could see anyone in the office. This is a great way to say to your physician, hey, I'm going to send this to you. You can learn more about FOP and pass it on to the other people in the practice. So that's a great way that you too can help us generate more education among healthcare professionals. So we're grateful to the pharmaceutical companies who are helping sponsor these programs. I think at different programs, I've seen Ipsen and Regeneron and Insight all sponsor these programs, so we're really grateful for their support in helping us continue to educate, to end misdiagnosis, and to make sure that we are not causing harm to patients. So with that, we'll go to the next slide. And we've talked about lots of things. We've talked about them really fast tonight. But what I hope you have heard as we've talked about things today is that we can't do this without you. Whether it's participating in the biobank, and we're really grateful to our friends from Emory, Dr. Dan Perrin and his team who are here who run the biobank, whether it's participating in the biobank, participating in the registry, participating in clinical trials, we need you as FOP patients and families to do those things. We need you to participate in our family services programs, to come and to learn and to connect with one another. We need you to participate in Ability Toolbox and to tell us what's working for you. So we need you to fundraise. We need you to make a gift. We need you to help us educate and raise awareness. And so all of this incredible work, it was founded by patients and families, and it continues with patients and families. And so we're just really grateful to each of you for the role that each of you play, and we just want you to know how important it is that we are so excited that a treatment's been approved, but we're still going. We are not like closing up the shop here. We are still going because our ultimate vision is that cure. So we're going to go to one last slide. So when I say that we can't do this without you, what that means is that each year we take an opportunity through our Jeannie Pieper Awards to recognize members of the community. So you may have seen, I think it started a little bit over a week ago, we started announcing this year's winners. So each year there is the President's Lifetime Leadership Award that is selected by our founder, Jeannie Pieper. This year the recipient was her niece Desiree, but we have an Outstanding Fundraising Award. There are actually many people in this audience today that have received this award before, but the Burgess family was the recipients this year. We have an Outstanding Community Involvement Award. So Dr. Zvi Grunwald, who is the FOP expert in anesthesiology, received that award this year. And then our Outstanding International Leadership Award is Dr. Clive Friedman, who is the prevention dentist. We have other prevention dentists too, but that's his message, is prevention in dental care. And I'm going to skip over someone, I'm going to come back. And then this year we have a brand new award, the Emerging Leader Award, which was given this year to Joshua Scoble. But I get the pleasure of actually giving the award to our inspiring leader this year, which is Paulina Gutierrez. So I'm gonna flip you around. Is that okay? Is that here? Okay. So there is your award. Okay, and then here's the bio that was written about you. So I'll give you this too. So Paulina came to the United States from Mexico several years ago, and her first interaction with the IFOPA was the family gathering in 2021. And this woman has taken off. She now organizes the IFOPAers Latinos group. She has her own Facebook group where she communicates and shares information. She is constantly telling people, you need to get in the registry. You need to get this information about trials. So we're just so grateful the way she has just taken the bull by the horns and has just been a great source of support to families, to our Latin American families. And you did it in such a quick turn. I mean, your first meeting was 2021. So we are so grateful for the work that you do, and it's so fun to be able to give you this award today.